Hello, the internet, and today I'm going to rank the Matilda 1996 characters from good to the most revoltingly evil. First, let's start out with the purest of pure and work our way up to the most revolting. These characters are the good. Surprising absolutely no one, the gold medal of good is easily going to Matilda Wormwood herself. Despite her unfortunate lifestyle with unloving parents, Matilda remains kind, heroic, brave, and sweet. Gifted with telekinesis, she's incredibly smart her age and shows compassion to those around her, like with Bruce when Trunchbull forces her to eat a huge cake. But her best deed is when she scares the Trunchbull away from the school and helps make the Crunch and Hull a better place for the kids. While she does have a mischievous side, like pranking her family, we feel it's understandable given how awful her family is. The worst we can say about her is that she can be a bit irresponsible at times, like sneaking into Trunchbull's home despite being told not to, in order to find her teacher's belongings. Despite this, Matilda is an amazing kid, brave, selfless, clever, and sweet, and she earns the gold medal of goodness. In second place, we have Dr. Magnus Honey, Miss Honey's late father. Though we don't see him in person in this film, it's obvious that he was a loving father to her daughter, Jennifer. He also worked as a doctor and tried to make his daughter happy. While he did invite Trunchbull over with them, we assume that he didn't know about her abusive behavior towards her, and concerned that his wife died and that he needs someone to look after her. We can understand his circumstances. Sadly, it died from an unknown circumstances, and Jennifer was put in the hands of the vile Trunchbull, and he was just too pure for this cruel world. He gets the silver medal for raising such a sweet woman. And speaking of which, taking the bronze medal of good, it's Jennifer Honey herself. While Trunchbull is the epitome of cruelness, Miss Honey is the epitome of kind and encouragement. When it comes to her students, especially Matilda, she gives them plenty of love and support, serving as a mother figure to Matilda, acting more like a mother than her real one. She's also protective of her loved ones. The reason she's a bit lower is that she can come across a bit cowardly when dealing with her aunt Trunchbull, though considering how tough and intense she is, and considering how much abuse she dished out her in her youth, we can understand why. Making it very satisfying to see her stand up to her abusive guardian. All in all, there's a reason why many kids absolutely adore her, and she gets the bronze medal of good. Next, we have Hortensia, one of the older students at Trunchbull Hall. Though her appearance may come across as a bully, she's actually a very protective kid who cares for the younger kids at school. She warns Matilda about the Trunchbull and how cruel she is, and in the finale, she along with the other students team up to take her down, and all what she stood for. Overall, she's a good kid. Following her, we have Matilda's good buddy, Lavender. Matilda's good friend. Lavender is just as kind as Matilda as she cares about her friend, and is just as intelligent as she is. Unfortunately, she loses some points since she did prank the Trunchbull with a newt and let Matilda take the blame, which is messed up. While Matilda did do pranking before, that was because of her poor parents. She was likely given much more decent parents herself, but we can't hold her too much since she is just a kid. And rounding up the good, we have the librarian, Miss Phillip. Before Miss Honey, she was Matilda's go-to adult authority figure she could trust. She encourages Matilda's love of reading and gives her advice every day. However, she isn't any higher since she should have been concerned for this 4-year-old unsupervised. While it was good to give her a library card to read more books, but when you have this young child without any folks with her, do something, lady. That wraps up the good characters. Now let's go on to the more neutral territory. The characters that aren't revolting, but aren't as bright like the lead character. Welcome to the gray area. First, we have Bruce Bogtrotter. He's placed in the gray area since he doesn't do anything that good, and is shown to be very gluttonous and quite foolish. I mean, taking a piece from the Trunchbull's office is not the best idea. While we can't feel bad for this kid, we can also see that he kind of brought this on himself. Just saying, dude. Though, him shoving a piece of cake into Trunchbull's mouth was pretty awesome. Next, let's talk about the school chef, Cookie. Cookie! Well, she does work for Trunchbull. We can't call her completely evil since she's more ignorant than downright malicious, even if the students are cruelly being tortured. Next, we have the FBI agent. We have the speedboat salesmen, who are actually FBI agents, Bob and Bill. Their main goal is to take Harry Wormwood down at all costs. On one hand, Harry's a total scumbag. He lies to his customers by using worn-out cars that could endanger their lives. But on the other hand, they don't even try to bring any evidence on Harry for being a crook, not even using a search warrant, which is very illegal, as mentioned by Matilda. Not to mention, threatening her to be put in an orphanage with cockroaches is pretty messed up. While they are just trying to do their job, we still think that they should know better, at least a bit of investigation. Just the same. And finally, rounding up the gray area, we have the first of our Wormwarts, that is not Matilda, Xena Wormwort. In comparison to the rest of her family, save for Matilda, she's the least bad of the bunch. She's more ditzy and superficial than downright malicious, though she does neglect her daughter a lot, leaving her at home to fend for herself without even giving her a babysitter. What does keep her from falling any lower is that she is the nicest of the Wormwarts and doesn't bully her that much as her husband and son. But her bestie was allowing her girl to be adopted by Miss Honey in the end, admitting that she wasn't the best parent, and even waving her goodbye towards the end. It's not much, but still something. Now, and you know what that means, it's time for the most wicked, horrible, and most revolting. These characters are the bad to evil. For our bronze medal revolting, we have the son of the Wormword's son, Michael. We can call him a bit of slack considering that it was poor parenting that turned him into such a big jerk. With that being said, he is a big jerk. He's mean to Matilda, as he calls her names and throws things at her. He even takes interest in his father's dodgy cars business despite being illegal. Yeah, he's a bad kid, but because how he was raised, we can't go too hard on him. He just needs to grow up into a better person. The silver medal of evil is going to Harry Wormwood herself. Oh boy, this guy. He's just a total scumbag. He's rude, greedy, unpleasant, cruel, and just plain old stupid. When it comes to his kids, he clearly favors Michael over Matilda, seeing her as a big mistake. He clearly disapproves of her reading or for just being smart, and wants her to be as mindless as he is. In addition to being a neglectful, horrible, irresponsible parent, he also cons people into buying worn-out cars that just to make a buck, which is terrible as it could endanger lives. Especially when the worn-out cars is what got Matilda in the chockey by the Trunchbull at one point. Heck, he was the one who agreed with sending Matilda to Crunchball Hall about questioning Trunchbull's methods, and only agreed to have Matilda to Miss Honey since he doesn't want to do anything for her. In addition to being a terrible parent, Harry's a terrible human being with no redeeming qualities. However, one person outdoes him much, much worse. And taking the gold medal of evil, we have the horrible, horrible, horrible Miss Agatha Trunchbull. A horrible, vile, revolting woman. She takes every mean adult figure you've seen before and dials it up to 100. She despises kids so much that she thinks school would be even better without kids. Yeah. She gives her students horrendous punishments like throwing them and especially the chockey, which is basically an Iron Maiden. She even sends Matilda to one even after her father gives her a lousy car. While this is just plain horrifying, what makes her monstrous is that it was implied that he killed Miss Honey, her niece's father, and took her under her wing and made her life into a living nightmare. Even claimed that he had broken her arm at one point. She's not just cruel, she's also murderous, as she's willing to kill anyone who trespasses her, making it very satisfying to see her get what's coming to her. Trunchbull is not just a huge bully, she's a full-on psychopath, as she's to remember as not only the most evil being in Matilda, but also one of the most evil beings of all time, and she easily earns the gold medal of evil. Alright, that's Melissa. Who do you think are the most good and who are the most vile? If so, leave your thoughts in the comment, and I'll see you all next time. Woohoo!